Now, that being said with clarity, and I want to touch upon this, early stage founders do have the benefit in a way that there isn't that much written about them online.
Yeah.
They don't have 1,000 reviews on G2 Crowd that people are trying to understand what they're good for or where they're good for. And that goes back to the Jordan Belfort argument of, well, I can say what I want, right? I can say that this is a big company and my secretary and everything else.
Yeah.
And by the way, it doesn't even need to be a small company that does that. Big companies can do that as well. Perception is key. Now, I want to be very clear with this because I'm not saying to lie and I'm not saying not to tell the truth because that will come back and bite you. What I am saying is that there's a difference in perception, right? And you have to build trust at every stage. Now, if you lose sight of the lies you're telling, you will get caught by them. But I don't think it's lies. I think what you can do is bend the truth because the other side doesn't necessarily know this. This goes to pricing, for example, and I'll talk you through one of my first ClickTail deals. You know, I was fresh out of Oracle, and I was in an 11-man startup in the Boursa in Tel Aviv, and we just launched the enterprise version.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, no one knew what that was. We hadn't built any packaging to it, and I get the first client who's the prospect because they're using quite a lot, and the SMB version of the product's not working for them. And they go, will it work? Will the enterprise version work behind the firewall? I've got no idea, right? I'm literally 2 weeks into the job. I say, I need to check on this, but I definitely think it should. Let me go and confirm everything. And I go and check with the support guys and they're like, of course it should. The SMB version works behind a firewall. They've obviously got something wrong with their settings. I go back on the phone. I go, 100% the enterprise version works behind a firewall. They go, great, we'll buy two websites they needed. Now, I would have given them a package with 3 websites on the enterprise version. Immediately, I've just sold 2, right? So it's all an element of perception, of holding back, of making sure it's logical. And by the way, that was very important because it meant we couldn't, and this is one of the reasons why people don't put their enterprise pricing on the website. There's a change to that because from a PLG standpoint, it's easier. You want to be as transparent as possible. And I agree with all of those elements of transparency. But there's also something where the customer needs to feel they're getting a good deal, right? I'll give you an example, and I still use it. Everybody has a boss. There's always another bad guy, and it's usually their lawyer. But you always want to look for an excuse to either hold off or wait for another approval or whatever it is. And that's possible even when they know they're speaking to the CEO. Because you still have a boss.
Yeah.
You've got a board. They don't know that the board is you and your co-founder. You've got a board. I've got a pricing committee. And I've used pricing committees even in big negotiations where it was me and the CFO on a call. And we said, listen, we think we can do that discount. We need to take it to the pricing committee. They go, okay. We hang up the phone and we are the pricing committee, me and the CFO.
Yeah.
But it's still a pricing committee. And I don't think it's wrong to do that. I think
sometimes it's a matter of optics as well.
Correct. It's optics and it's perception, and it gives them the confidence that they're getting the best deal they can. Again, there has to be a logic. There has to be a clarity. There has to be a consistent message the whole way through, because otherwise you're going to ruin trust. And I think that logic has to go through all of your pricing, the meter, the cost, the value, everything you're doing on that. And you have to believe in it. You have to believe that story yourself more than anyone else. And I think the belief is super, super important.